The Bermuda Triangle, a cursed slice of ocean where planes vanish, ships disappear, and logic goes right out the porthole. Some say it's aliens, others say it's Atlantis. Me? I think it's a bunch of sailors who should have asked for directions. But whatever you believe, this infamous patch of water has been blamed for hundreds of disappearances, wild conspiracy theories, and one of the greatest PR makeovers in ocean history. Welcome to the Bermuda Triangle, the wettest hot mess you've ever seen. So first, what is the Bermuda Triangle? It's not a triangle in the math sense. No one's out there with a protractor. It's an area of the Atlantic roughly bounded by Miami, Bermuda, and Puerto Rico. If you trace it on a map, it covers about 500,000 square miles of water. In other words, it's a huge chunk of ocean. But while other patches of ocean are just ocean, this one got branded like a haunted Airbnb listing. Come for the sunshine, stay for the supernatural disappearances. The legend actually starts with, who else? Christopher Columbus. On his very first trip to the Americas in 1492, Columbus noted strange lights, dancing on the horizon and his compass going haywire near the triangle. Now, did he just not understand basic magnetic variation? Probably. Did he exaggerate like the drama king he was? Definitely. But his spooky little diary entry set the stage for centuries of nautical gossip. By the 1800s, newspapers started reporting ships vanishing without a trace in the area. Sometimes storms were to blame, sometimes poor navigation, and sometimes the journalists just needed a spicy headline. The Bermuda Triangle really went mainstream, thanks to one single event, Flight 19, December 5th, 1945. 5 US Navy bombers took off from Fort Lauderdale for a routine training mission. Somewhere over the Atlantic, their compasses went haywire, the pilots got disoriented, and radio transmissions grew panicked. The last thing anyone heard was, "We can't find west." Everything looked strange. We may be lost at sea. Spoiler, they were lost at sea. All 5 planes vanished, along with the 14 men on board. Even worse, the rescue planes sent after them also disappeared. That's 6 planes, 27 men, and 0 wreckage. The media went nuts, and the Devil's Triangle was born. The disappearance of Flight 19 didn't just spark panic, it sparked decades of finger-pointing. The Navy initially blamed pilot error, but after pushback from families, they quietly changed the official report to causes unknown. That single phrase was like jet fuel for conspiracy theorists. Suddenly, it wasn't just a tragic accident, it was proof of something bigger. UFO groups, paranormal investigators, and best-selling authors all latched onto the mystery, ensuring Flight 19 became the poster child for Bermuda Triangle lore. Flight 19 wasn't the only aerial disappearance. In 1948, a passenger plane called the Star Tiger vanished en route to Bermuda with 31 people on board. Just a year later, its sister ship, the Star Ariel, also disappeared under eerily similar circumstances. No wreckage, no survivors, just empty skies. By then, the press was basically publishing "Triangle Eats Another One" as a semi-annual headline. It gave the impression of a cursed airspace, even though commercial flights kept crisscrossing the area daily without incident. In 1918, the USS Cyclops, a massive Navy cargo ship carrying 300 men and over 10,000 tons of manganese ore, vanished without a trace. No SOS call, no wreckage, no survivors. President Woodrow Wilson even said, "Only God and the sea know what happened," which is presidential code for, "Yeah, we got nothing." To this day, it remains the largest non-combat loss of life in US Navy history. Then there's the Carroll A, a 5-masted schooner found mysteriously abandoned off the coast of North Carolina in 1921. Its crew was gone, the captain's quarters ransacked, and meals were still sitting on the table. It was like the nautical version of the Mary Celeste. Spooky, unsolved, and tailor-made for ghost stories. And that's just the big names. Over the years, dozens of smaller planes and private boats have reportedly vanished in the area, sometimes without radio calls, sometimes without debris, sometimes without even a clear passenger list. These cases don't get the Hollywood treatment, but they've added fuel to the fire that the triangle is a watery black hole. Now, if you've got a mystery, you know the conspiracy theories are going to pile up like tourists at a Jimmy Buffett concert. Maybe the triangle is Earth's intergalactic bus stop. Ships and planes vanish because they're being abducted for research, which is flattering, honestly. Out of the entire planet, little green men are most interested in Florida's backyard. Some swear the lost city of Atlantis is down there. equipped with crystal power sources that zap passing ships like bug zappers, which sounds less like archaeology and more like rejected Marvel lore. Others argue the triangle is home to a rift in space-time. Ships don't sink, they time travel, which would at least explain why none of them ever send postcards. And then, of course, the classics. Giant squids, krakens, prehistoric beasts rising from the depths. Because if you can't blame aliens or ancient death rays, blame calamari. By the 1960s and 70s, the Bermuda Triangle was less a patch of water and more a pop culture phenomenon. Authors like Vincent Gaddis and Charles Berlitz cranked out bestsellers hyping it up as Earth's ultimate death trap. Berlitz's book, The Bermuda Triangle, 1974, sold over 20 million copies and made the mystery a household name. TV specials followed, full of ominous narration and bad stock footage of stormy seas. Basically, the triangle became the Kardashians of geography, famous mostly for being famous. Here's the unsexy truth. The Bermuda Triangle is no deadlier than any other heavily travelled stretch of ocean. The US Coast Guard has flat out said, the number of disappearances in the Bermuda Triangle is no greater than in any other part of the ocean. Translation: calm down, Karen. To be fair, scientists did test some of the weirder theories. In the 1990s, researchers studied whether giant methane gas bubbles from the ocean floor could sink ships. Turns out, big burps of methane can reduce water density enough to drag a vessel under. Cool in theory, but no one has ever actually recorded one happening in the triangle. Another study looked at rogue waves, monster waves twice the size of anything around them. Those do exist and could absolutely shred ships. But again, that's just ocean physics, not aliens. So why the wrecks? 4 big reasons. Weather. This region breeds hurricanes, like Florida breeds weird news stories. Storms are sudden, violent, and lethal. Human error. Pilots and sailors mess up. A lot. Overconfidence, bad maps, and miscommunication have sunk more ships than aliens ever did. Magnetic anomalies. Compasses in the triangle sometimes point to true north instead of magnetic north. To modern GPS users, that's no big deal, but to a 1940s pilot relying on analog dials, that's a one-way ticket to we're lost. Deep trenches. The ocean floor here is like a roller coaster. Some trenches drop 27,000 feet deep, so when something sinks, good luck ever finding it. You'd think if this place were really that dangerous, insurance companies would have had a meltdown, right? But nope. Lloyd's of London, aka the Beyoncé of marine insurance, straight up said the triangle isn't riskier than any other busy stretch of water. They never charged ships higher rates for passing through it. And if anyone knows when to panic, it's the people betting billions on your boat not sinking. So when even the insurance sharks say, nah, it's fine, that's kind of a red flag, against the conspiracy theories. And this is where the Bermuda Triangle starts to unravel. The whole compasses go crazy thing. That's not supernatural, it's science. There are only a handful of places on Earth where true north and magnetic north line up, and the Bermuda Triangle just happens to be one of them. Pilots unfamiliar with this would think their instruments were malfunctioning when really they were just being normal. Add in the fact that the ocean is massive, weather is unpredictable, and people are clumsy, and suddenly the triangle seems a lot less paranormal. Basically, the Bermuda Triangle has been debunked by science, the Coast Guard, and anyone who owns a basic compass. But hey, human error and hurricanes doesn't sell as many books as aliens stole my dad's boat. Even though science basically pulled the plug on the mystery, the Bermuda Triangle has refused to die because Hollywood won't let it. It pops up everywhere, in search of with Leonard Nimoy, Scooby-Doo, The X-Files, Lost, even SpongeBob, who called it the Bikini Bottom Triangle. The myth has legs because it's fun, spooky, and adaptable. Like Bigfoot or ghost hunting, the Bermuda Triangle thrives on vibes, not facts. And at this point, it's less a mystery of the sea and more a permanent part of our cultural imagination. So why does the Bermuda Triangle still capture our imagination? Because humans love a good mystery. It's the same reason people are obsessed with Bigfoot or Area 51. The idea that there's still a patch of Earth where science doesn't have all the answers is kinda sexy. Plus, it's great branding. North Atlantic patch of ocean with totally normal storms doesn't sell nearly as many books. So, is the Bermuda Triangle real? Well, it's definitely real water. And real people have really disappeared there. But is it supernatural? Probably not. Unless you believe in drunk sea captains, which honestly might explain more than aliens ever could. The Bermuda Triangle, part ocean, part myth, all hot mess.